Hello, we're going to do a short video here, and we're going to show you a original 1611 King James Bible, and also have some pages from some other ancient scriptures, just to show you that you will not find the letter J in these translations, because the letter J is a new addition to the English language. I mean, it's the last letter that's been added. It came into the to predominant usage in the English language around the 17th century. And so in the original King James 1611 Bible, there is no J letter. And so with that said, you'll notice that the Messiah or Mashiach is not referred to, or not, his name is not Jesus in the original 1611 Bible. Now I'm going to move the camera over here. This is the opening page of the King James 1611 Bible. Let me zoom in here and just scroll up and down. See the 1611 year down near the bottom there, and all this artwork that they use. Some of it doesn't really look very spiritual at all. But I do want to show you something that's interesting. At the very top, I'm going to zoom in at the top up here. Do you see the Creator's name in modern Hebrew script at the very top there? Right there, Yod He Uah, Yahuwah is the Creator's name. Is in fact, the letters are at the very top of this particular opening page, which is very, very interesting. Now I'm going to turn the page over. This is the next page in there. It says, I'll read it to you. It says, it's the introductory page, "To the Most High and Mighty Prince." Now, this is being a King James, you would think it would say King James. Well, it says Prince Imes. That's because the J letter wasn't in usage in England at that time. Well, it had begun to be introduced somewhat, but it was not in the original King James Bible because it was not predominantly used. Excuse me. So, what we would say King James was known as King Imes back then. I'm going to scroll over here. You're going to see the Messiah's name. There it is, where it says the Bible underneath there. You're going to see the name that you would think would be Jesus, but it's actually the Latin form, which is Jesus, from the Greek Iesus, which we know that neither of those names are the Messiah's name. His name originated in Hebrew, which is Yahusha. Excuse me, but you don't see his name there. It's Jesus. Again, no J letter in all of this Bible here. I'm going to show you a page from the King James. From the book of Romans. This is actually the introductory page. It says the epistle of. Now notice how Paul is spelled here. It's P-A-V-L, and that's because the V and the U carried the U sound, and the V actually was a new sound that came into our language. But it actually carried the U sound, as it would have been P-A, pronounced as Paul, but it's written here with a V. Notice how Romans is written there. I want to scroll down to the first chapter and show you verse 3 here. It says, concerning his son, look how son is spelled, S-O-N-N-E, and then you see the Messiah's name spelled, and that's an I there. It's a capital I, the way it was written, I-E, and that looks like an F, but actually that's in the long S, as in they used to write it that way. On the end of a word, it'd be in the small s, as you see. So it's spelled I-E-S-U-S. And it did not take on the letter J until in the King James Bible, until around the 4th edition of the King James Bible, which is around 1628, I believe, if memory serves me correctly, from my research that I've done. So actually, the name Jesus did not show up in the scriptures as we know it today until around that time. So he never was called Jesus back when he walked on the earth, because there is no J letter. There was no J letter around to pronounce it that way. Hebrew, he was a Hebrew. He was given a Hebrew name. And of course, there is no J letter in Hebrew back then, nor is it today. Neither is there a J letter in the Greek language. And so it's fairly new to the English language. I want to show you a couple more pages here. First of all, this is the book of Joshua. Show you that there's no J. You see here the book of, look how Joshua is spelled. There is no J because there is no J letter. So he never, of course, Joshua was just as our English translation. But his name was the same, carried the same name as our Messiah, our Mashiach, which is Yahusha. But that's how it's written right there in the King James original 1611 Bible. Here's a page out of this is the Reims. This is dated 1582. This was before the King James Bible. This is the New Testament. It's actually the first English Roman Catholic edition. And I'll scroll down here and find it for you if I can. There it is. IESVS. Notice how it's spelled. No J letter back then either. Of course, this is before 1611. So naturally, it's not in this New Testament either. So, with that said, just wanted to point that out to you. Let me see if I can turn this Bible around up on this top here and show you again. It's a King James 1611 Bible, and this is actually, the copy that I have is a facsimile copy. It's not the, of course, an actual original one, but a company makes these copies. There are a few originals that are around, but they're worth probably up around $100,000, so I couldn't spend that much money on getting an original, so I had to get a copy. But this is what they originally looked like in their print and so forth. So, hope this helps you. Hope that you can show this to your friends. Let them know that in the original King James Bible, there was no letter J, and the Messiah's name could not have been pronounced as Jesus. It is a Hebrew. His name is Hebrew. It's Yahusha, our Mashiach, our Savior. Thank you for joining us, and we'll look forward to our next session next time. Thank you.